Hello, my little ponies. I am your host, Starlight, and here today with me are some lovely guests. But before we get into them, we will be discussing what today's topic is. And today's topic, the Wheel of Mythicality, states that it is monsters. Yes, I'm talking about creepy monsters, whether from MLP or from Roman mythology, or from the creepy minds of other people, or just really creepy people. So, here today to help me discuss the creepies and the crawlies, we have Chris.
Hi.
Fatal Park back again.
Hello.
Rainbow X Dash.
Hello.
We all know Silver Rose.
Hi everyone, nice to be here.
And Thunderblur.
Howdy.
Okie dokie Loki. So, now why don't we start off by telling everybody which is our favorite monster?
Hydra. Definitely Hydra.
Changelings.
Hydra.
Zygons.
Centaur and vampires.
Okay.
Zombies and Weeping Angels.
Oh, the nightmares. Properly done dragons.
Properly done. So you mean not Spike? Oh, but he's so cute.
Yeah, but he's not really menacing.
Spike is actually very close to what I mean by a properly done dragon.
Oh, but he is so cute. You just want to rub his little belly.
Of course.
Then again, I find myself wanting to rub most dragons' bellies, but that's because I'm just a weird person. Or maybe. As it may be. Anyway, as it were, let's start off with our first topic of the evening. Monsters in MLP. Yep.
I don't know much
So-
about those.
Why don't we first start off with the first monster ever shown in MLP, or at least what I believe to be the first monster. Those annoying little gibber-gobbers. Those annoying but adorable puffballs with wings.
Whoa, wait
I
a
lost their
second.
names.
First off, you're thinking of the Parasprites, but what about the Manticore from episode 2?
Oh, right. Fine, we'll start with the Manticore.
It's weak, it's lame, it's there for 2 seconds.
Oh, but it's so cute.
Okay, yeah, it is cute.
Another thing, I just want to rub the little belly up. That's so cute. I would have a Manticore as a pet, totally. It would definitely keep the kids off my lawn.
It would.
Okay.
I'm a fan of big cats, so I would probably enjoy having a Manticore.
So, the first Manticore, or first thing we saw in MLP, kind of a letdown. I mean, come on. Rarity kicked him to the face, and it looked like he got butthurt from it. So, Manticores in MLP, not really that dangerous.
No.
Though, Manticores
yet.
in Roman mythology were pretty kickin'.
Yeah!
They're a disgrace to us all.
Wow.
Also, I'm not quite sure why the Manticore just didn't fly. Like, it would take the pressure off the thorn in his paw. But anyways, next, let's see, we can then talk about, what was it, the Parasprites, or was it the Cockatrice?
Parasprites came. Well, which one was it? What?
Parasprites.
I think Parasprites came first.
Alright, Parasprites.
Yeah,
Once again,
Parasprites.
so adorable, you just want to keep one, but they're kind of gross, creepy, and, like, they multiply like Gizmo if you pour water on him.
They gonna be eating up all your sandwiches, all y'all food.
Yeah, they're like that annoying
God.
kid that comes. They're like that annoying older sibling when they come home from college, just eating everything. But they are adorable.
Yes, they
To
are.
be perfectly honest, I find them to be far more terrifying than the vampire fruit bats we get later. Because you don't assume they're a swarm of locusts, but they're the most horrible swarm of locusts that ever exist. I'm still
Only
curious.
when Twilight decided to try to mess with magic and they started actually eating buildings instead of actual food.
Yeah.
They don't seem intimidating, but they are a very big nuisance.
Oh, and I loved how Rarity turned them into Chinese children slaves. And so, like, would spit on her,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Yay,
They
get
get
these
the
barbarians out!"
sweatshop.
Actually, that reminded me of the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends episode with the scribbles,
Oh, I
where
know that
there
one.
there are all these little imaginary friends from when Frankie was a child, and you can tell them to do something, but you can only tell them to do one thing. If you tell them to do more than one thing, they go completely insane. And you have a question of, is it okay to use them as slave labor? It was
Yeah.
great. So when I
I
saw the Parasprites being used like that, I was like, hey, that's awesome.
I need to watch that series again. I need to.
Yes,
I love
it
that
was
stuff.
good. Although, did anybody else notice how Blue went from being sort of this likable buddy buddy kind of guy to being kind of annoying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I
Yeah,
thought
that
he was
would
like
be.
that the whole time.
No, like the first episode, he's actually kind of sweet and cute and adorable. Like, like someone that's kind of mischievous, but you still like hang out with them because they're fun, even if they do get you in trouble. Where then he just sort of became a total, like, I don't know
Jerk.
what's the word for it,
He
jerk.
was not a terribly great friend towards the end of the series.
he was something though, may I say.
Yes. Anywho's it. We're supposed to be talking about monsters, not blue blobs.
Well, Blue is a
Although
monster.
the blob will show up here again, trust me. Let's see. What is next? Ah, yes. The chicken/dragon thing that turns ponies and other things into stone.
Cockatrice.
The worst. Actually, sorry. Why was I thinking basilisk? It has to be the chicken part.
Yeah, I have to say, it kind of reminded me of a basilisk, just kind of stupidly designed.
Yeah.
It's not really scary. I mean, it has the body of a chicken, which is stupid because chickens are in fact stupid and annoying and
Yeah.
dirty creatures. But then he has like that snake tail thing, and it's like, what? Why? And those wings would not be able to get him off the ground because chickens can't fly. They can hover, kind of, but they can't really fly. They can go up or like hover over the ground slightly. They cannot do both. I don't know why.
I've seen cockatrices in games before, and every single time I see one, I'm just like, am I supposed to be intimidated by it? It's a chicken with a tail that's a lizard tail? I don't get. What are we doing?
Yeah,
What?
Can I eat that chicken?
Hey,
Yes, go ahead. Eat
I'll
it.
gladly
I
eat
wonder
it.
what he would taste like. I
Is
bet he would taste like.
confusing.
I bet he would taste sort of like alligator.
I bet he would taste
Yeah.
kind of chalky.
He could.
Super chalky.
That was
What?
not
But
funny.
of course, he could be. He could taste like.
What? Okay.
Okay.
What I thought about the cockatrice, when I first saw it, I thought it looked a bit creepy, especially when it turned Twilight to stone and almost killed her off. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
but thanks to Fluttershy's special stare ability, he does turn into a great big silly coward. So
Yes.
it's okay about which.
Yeah, so next up is the Hydra. Which,
God.
quite frankly, was just so cute.
I want more of that Hydra. I want to see it. I just want to see another Hydra in the show because that was funnier than hell watching
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you see, the problem is that they try to make these monsters look scary, and, like, they're just so cute. Like, I don't know who's the person that designs these monsters. Like, let's face it, Discord doesn't look scary, that other Crotronicus doesn't look scary. Like, come on, like, who designs these monsters? I understand they're supposed to be, like, little girls' toys, but even when I was a little kid, if I was going to have, like, a bad character or something, of course, I would usually destroy my toys for the monsters and just, like, melt things together. But that's beside the point. Like, they're just too cute. They aren't really threatening. You know?
Well, I don't think we got our
They're not
first.
really that frightening.
I think we didn't really get our first villain slash monster that was supposed to be frightening until Sombra. Because the rest of them are supposed to be kind of cute, or it's supposed to be what they do that frightens you instead of what they are necessarily. I mean, seriously, the Manticore's a gigantic kitty. The cockatrice is kind of disturbing until you start laughing your ass off because it's got a tail that's 5 times the length of its body.
He is
And
right. He is definitely right.
And the Hydra is just unbelievably entertaining to watch. The one loopy head, the 3 angry heads, all of them interacting together. It's the classic joke of the Hydra, but because it doesn't talk, because they're all looking almost exactly the same, it pulls off so well. And God, love the MLP Hydra because it's just so entertaining to watch.
Okay, and so now let's move on to the actual intelligent monsters of MLP. Let's first start off with Queen Chrysalis. What do you guys think about changelings?
They look fine to me. They're not that scary anyway.
Yeah, they aren't that spooky.
I thought they were awesome creatures, and especially Chrysalis. Like, I think they were like the most creepy villains I've saw so far in MLP. And the way that they feed off each other's love, like when Chrysalis was feeding off Shining Armor's love for Cadence, when she impersonated her, like it almost like it took control of Equestria for a short time.
Yeah, I should have. Sombra's not the first scary-looking creature, it's the changelings. And honestly, I could easily see, had they put the changelings in a dark cave or something like that, I could see that haunting children's nightmares. But in the happy, bright-colored Canterlot scenery, that did not do anything to help them look scary. They did look different, and that was really good of the artists.
Again,
the only
if you
time
want to be
I
a
ever
great monster,
thought-
you have to look intimidating.
Sorry, the only time I really thought they looked scary was that one incident when Chrysalis is still, in Cadence's form, and Twilight's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she pats her head, and then she's like, "You will be," and her eyes flash, and there's green fire, and it's like, oh my god, she turned into Scar. It's like, awesome.
Yep. I completely agree with that. To be honest, the changelings as a whole, I need to see more of them. I want to see more of them, but as far as we can tell, they're mind slaves of Chrysalis. Like, even in the comics where they further expand it, where we get to see them talk to her, it seems like they all listen to her without even a shred of thought to themselves.
It makes me think that they're kind of bees, which means Queen Chrysalis is the only female, and all the rest of them are male. And, well, most of them are female, and then, like, she has drones that are male, and it's like, okay, so all the soldiers are female then, and so, but they take the form of male ponies, and it kind of creeps me out, because the whole thing, it's just creepy. Like, it creeps me out.
The concept
Anyway.
of changeling monsters are always creepy, period.
Okay. Also, the fact that they change, not only, see, in most cases, shapeshifters basically kill out the person they turn into, and then do despicable acts by them. What makes this is even creepier is that they basically dispose of the person temporarily and feed off the persons that you love. That is kind of creepy. Seriously, because not only, like, they might not even kill you, they might just, like, stow you away somewhere until they're done feeding. And we have a question from Veriza Turnacoat. Okay. Alright, the question is, does a monster need to look scary to get out of MLP to Doctor Who? The dialects look silly, they get intimidating by their actions. That is true, and the problem with most of the monsters in MLP is that they're stupid. Like, okay, let's move on to the next one, which is, of course, Discord. He almost succeeded. If it wasn't for the fact that he plays fair, even though he is very misleading, he does in fact play fair, he totally could have won. He could have won. He's very intelligent, even though he acts very silly. And he is a Draconicus, I believe, is the term of
Yes.
phrase.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys' opinions on Discord? Go.
Well,
He's a nice
Discord.
fellow.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Discord, it was originally my favorite MLP villain before Lord T-Rex. And when I watched his debut episode, The Return of Harmony, he was a really, really awesome guy for the main six to deal with. And since like he was voiced by John Delancey, who made his character Discord similar to Q from Star Trek: The Next Generation, he became one of the most fan favorite characters of the entire series.
Mhm.
And the way that his character arc has been developed from Key Common Flutter in season 3 till the season finale in season 4, Twilight's Kingdom, um, most of the people were concerned about where he was truly reformed at the end of that episode, but by the time when the finale came round, he truly understood about the magic of friendship after when T-Rex betrays him for draining all of the powers of the ponies in Equestria and betraying his friends. But I really like him as he's one of my favorite characters from the show. So that's my opinion.
Discord it's hard for me to look at a creature with such personality as a monster. I mean, obviously we have creatures like Dracula who do have amazing personalities but are also considered monsters. If I were to just look at Draconiquises from what we know about them as chaotic creatures, I actually really love the concept because the fact that it's something that kind of opposes everything there is to the world. And it's just so cool watching him move and watching what his abilities let him do with the world. It makes you wonder what it would be like if there were more of them. And that's what I really love about Discord and what he is the fact that he has such grand scale to him. And in my opinion, that's one of the best parts about him is the fact that his plan tricks people and plays with them, and when you do that kind of thing, you are in a sense playing God by manipulating them, and that makes anything feel more grand. And that's what makes Discord just great in my opinion.
Okie dokie. Anybody else have anything to say about Discord?
Well, Discord is my favorite villain of all of the show.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, okay. If nobody has anything else to say on him, then we must move to T-Rex. By the way, I'm not going to count King Sombra as a monster because he was just an overpowered pony.
Yeah.
But if any of you have anything you want to
Yes.
say about him now, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I feel like we're forgetting a monster. Oh yeah, what about the Chimera?
We
What the
talked about
hell
the
is that?
Chimera.
No, we talked about the Manticore. The Chimera is from Some Pony to Watch Over Me.
Wait. We talked about
No.
them. Discord is a Chimera, and so is the other one. I mentioned them both. You guys decided to go on Discord tangent, though.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Oh.
Well,
That one was kind of stupid. She obviously isn't a controller of chaos. Just saying.
obviously not. She's more along the lines of the Manticore as just being another creature that has multiple pieces thrown together and is dragged from Greek mythology and just. God, so
And if I have to
terrible.
say something, it was cool seeing the fire swamp in MLP. Just makes
Yeah,
me
that was
think
cool.
of it just makes me think of the Princess Bride ponies running around the swamp. I'm sorry, it does. It would have been awesome if they put them in the background, but I doubt they could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Like getting them sued. But
Mhm.
it would have been awesome. Like just see a pony in a white dress and a pony in a black mask walk smokily in the background. Anyways, that's just me fan pandering though. Where were we going?
On to Tirek. Or do we want to go back towards Cerberus?
Let's first conquer Cerberus, and then we can go on to. God, I can't
want
remember
to
pronounce
play
his
ball
name.
with him so bad!
What?
I want to play ball with Cerberus so freaking bad.
I think it'd be
was
funny to
so-
throw 3 balls in like 3 different directions and have him spin around in a circle.
He was so adorable, Cerberus. Like it was first he was like a terrifying monster, but when Fluttershy rubbed his belly, he was like a playful little puppy.
Well, I mean, he sort of reminded me of Fluffy.
Yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yes, he was so cute.
Yeah.
Anyways, anybody else have anything to say on Cerberus? I should have saved
No.
that for last, though, so we could have gone into Greek mythology. Anyways, next up is the king, or the king of last season's finale. The name that I cannot pronounce, even though I've known him since
T-Rex.
Generation 1. T-Rex. T-Rex. Believe it or not, I used to call him T-Rex. Just because it is very similar. So,
Wow.
yes, T-Rex. Okay, he was a very threatening villain. I mean, he beat Discord, although Discord was off on his game. And he was smart. He was conniving. He was also really creepy and overpowerful, although when you first see him, he doesn't seem so. And from now, I will let you guys take over the conversation of T-Rex. You may go.
I agree that Tyrek was the most threatening villain we've seen this far in MLP, and he's now my number 1 favorite villain, because because out of all the villains that we've seen in MLP, like he is the most cunning, most evil, most manipulative centaur I ever saw. Ever since his first few moments of his debut on screen, it makes me creep out just like that. Especially when he drains all of the powers of the ponies in Equestria, and I agree that if he was to make a return in future seasons, don't want to get informed anyway, but if he wants to make a return, I'd love to see the MLP staff try.
Yes,
That would be
he will
super
need to
awesome.
bring back the negative rainbow. Yes. Sorry.
God, no, I'm completely with you. Jesus, those were beautiful creatures back in. Oh, Tyrek is just. I know everyone else loves him, but I more so just love how freaking great it is to watch him on screen. I can't remember any of the lines he says. All I really remember is the fight scene, the animations, and that's just it. Tyrek is obviously so powerful, and he is very intelligent the way he tricks Discord, but the thing about him is the fact that he kind of blows in and he just takes down everything. It feels like it's too easy for me to truly like him as a villain. It's when people can confront him and when he's confronted by them that I enjoy a villain more. Which is again why I enjoyed Discord. He was confronted by the main 6 and he interacted with them as people who were challenging him. Whereas Tyrek, the closest we got to that was Discord showing up, and it took less than a minute to get Discord on his side, and that was predictable, and I guess it just wasn't what I was looking for.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to say?
Mm-mm.
Alright, then let's move on to my next favorite monsters, Greek mythology, or Roman mythology. Depends on where you want to point. But the point is, most of the stories are similar and almost exactly the same, except for changing in names. I might say that the greatest thing about monsters in Greek mythology is that oftentimes they weren't born monsters. Oftentimes, they were people that the gods screwed over. Like, one of my favorite of these is probably Medusa. She was literally just a priestess gosh, she was god of hunting, Artemis. She was a priestess of Artemis, working at the temple, woman of beauty and power and grace that most men in the city wanted her, but yet she was a priestess of Artemis, which her being the god of hunting and a chastied one at that, of course, none of her priestesses were allowed to actually be deflowered. So when, not Zeus, the god of water, or
Poseidon.
Poseidon, decided he would have her and raped her in Miamadad, the temple she worked in. So, of course, the god was not happy about this. Artemis was not happy. And so instead of punishing the man that raped her, she decided to punish Medusa and turn her into a gorgon and strand her on an island. And because her two sisters would not leave her side, they also got turned into gorgons. This just shows how messed up the gods were and how vicious these stories were. They very few ever have happy endings. And so Greek monsters often are so very tragic. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
It's fine.
Another interesting one, which is one that we forgot to mention when we were talking about MLP, would have to be centaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Half like bull, half goat type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Goats are cool.
And once again, a tragic story, but I won't go into that because some people are saying we're being boring. I don't care. Anyways, so yes, Greek mythology, 100 different stories, one for every type. Monsters of the wazoo, oftentimes the monsters being their own gods, including Hades, who I love as a monster, even though he's not really a monster, he's just okay.
The evil lord of the underworld.
Yep, who likes to make deals. I think that's something the church decided to keep when they came up with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Lord, I'm going to get so much hate mail for that. But, yeah, basically, Hades, it has to be one of my favorite villains when it comes, or monsters, when it comes to Greek mythology, because there's so many stories with him, and he's just awesome, except for enslaving that poor woman into being his wife for all eternity when she's like the spirit of spring, and so she only gets to leave once a year. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she does cheat on him a lot, which is kind of mean, but I can understand where she comes from, because like she herself is enslaved, but I can understand why he gets really upset when, she's constantly cheating on him in his own house. Yeah, that would kind of PBO too. Anyways, seeing as nobody really has anything to say on Greek monsters, we can move on to movie monsters.
Yay.
Okay. Classical movie monsters are as is. The original would be vampires, werewolves, zombies, and of course we cannot forget the monster Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
I never really watched too many movies with many monsters. I don't watch movies
Yeah,
with
me
movies,
too.
so I don't
Doesn't
really have
Frankenstein
anything
technically count as a zombie?
bring up within
No.
movie monsters.
The Frankenstein monster does not count as a zombie. How dare you say so, sir?
Well,
Well, it was resurrected from the dead.
Yes, exactly. My point exactly.
He is not a zombie.
He will be in my book.
Oh, I mean...
What?
Oh man, that's a noise.
Anyways, why don't we start off with vampires? The first time a vampire graced our screens was in black and white, and very creepy, very long and very white and creepy. I am, of course, talking as Nosferatu, which was basically named that just because they couldn't get the rights to Dracula.
You have to have rights to Dracula? That's
Yeah.
gay.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you're going to make a movie based off a book, you have to get the rights. It's usually pretty pricey. And you have to... Yes.
Well,
So-
if I can move on a book I write. Aha!
I remember reading Dracula a while back. Except I do not remember a thing to this day. But I remember I read it, and it was a good read.
So, vampires, they suck blood. They do not sparkle, and they cannot go out into sunlight. And especially if they do go out in sunlight, they burn. They do not sparkle like literally like go-go dancers.
I mean that.
Fortunately,
They do sparkle.
if you guys don't mind, I'd like to actually trace down the falling of vampires. If you guys don't mind, it won't take too long.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
The sappy vampires, which, of course, originally started with Dracula having a bit of a heart for his wife, which is weird because the actual Vlad the Impaler actually tortured his wife for several years before sticking an impaling stake through her head. But besides all that, yes, then it slowly went on to Interview with a Vampire, where we did have sappy vampires before this. This is where it was the kind of guys, the mopey, the sad, oh, I am not a monster, but I must live on, and that whole, oh, sappy, sappy, cry, cry, emo, emo, emo vampires. And
Well.
they kind of annoyed me in Interview with a Vampire, and somehow this became the craze, and so every vampire for a while since then was sappy and, oh, romantic. Like,
Still
you
that
started with
was very
that,
bad.
and then...
Billy and Mandy Dracula's best Dracula.
And then it twiddled down into some B-rated vampire movies. The Vampire Lestat, then Interview with the Vampire, which is technically the same vampire, but whatever. Then, of course, we got Queen of the Damned, which spurred on that whole notion. And it twiddled down through other movie franchises till we reach rock bottom of those sappy, blood-sucking emo vampires to Twilight, where they sparkle. And now that has trickled down into zombie movies, where the zombies start to come back to life and have hearts.
Oh, hey.
Okay, I am done.
I can't. Okay, hey, I need to comment. That movie, I actually really enjoyed that movie and how they did it. So,
Which movie?
Yeah. I can't. Warm Bodies. I really enjoyed Warm Bodies because of how they.
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I'm just saying they're starting to inject sappy vampire romance and turned it towards zombies. So zombie
Oh,
franchise is the next one to be diminished.
Well,
Oh.
it's not bad.
Just wait. Soon we'll get sparkly zombies.
That's
No!
gay. Never do that.
Or play zombies. Can you imagine that?
Let's just turn them into a disco ball.
Oh.
To be totally honest, I've never been a fan of vampires, and it's for one of two reasons every time I see a vampire. One, the vampire is unbelievably powerful and unbelievably bloodthirsty, and that's all there is to the character. I mean, seriously, that's all he does is, I'm gonna kill things, I'm gonna make more vampires, I want to eat. And the other side is, I am dark and tortured from my long existence, and you are the one thing in this entire long existence that brings some light to this darkness. And I'm just like, okay, so you're a romance, and you're playing up all the aspects of the vampire for the romance, and just shoot me! It's a bad
Precisely.
romance when it's done normally.
Although I have to admit, I do like the
Vampires.
portrayal of vampires in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like,
Okay. Yes,
I mean,
I'll
the
admit,
whole
I watched
Angel
some of
thing, I
those.
did not like Angel. Oh yeah, that's another one on the sappy romance scale that brought down the Descent Angel. I'm probably gonna get hate mail for this,
I like the supernatural angels.
but I kind of like Spite more than Angel. Again, hate mail, just for the fact that they work good together. Like, Buffy and them were not good together. Let's face it, they were wrong for each other, and yet the fact that they keep coming back to each other is so laughable.
I didn't
You know?
actually watch a whole lot of Buffy, but what I did see some of Angel and I did see some of Spike, and I'm with you. Angel tended to pull out one-liners, and otherwise he was dark and moody and tortured, and I was like, oh god, it's the same thing. But Spike, on the other hand, at the same time that he pulls from the first vampire trope of he loves the life he lives, there's also a side to him that wants to be human, that enjoys being
No,
around
that didn't
humans.
happen until they gave him back his soul or that chip thing in his head.
Oh, then I guess that's what I saw, because, well, I'm more so saying that he simply seemed to enjoy life. He wasn't just there to kill things, he was there to have fun and actually do shit.
Exactly. Although he did live
And
a
that's-
tragic human life, but still. He had fun as a
Yeah.
vampire.
I heard about the
Mhm.
tragic human life, and I was like, why would you do that? Okay, fine. Unfortunately, I have...
It makes it all the more fun that now he's a fun-loving, non-sympathetic asshole. That's why.
For enough. Okay, I need to run off, unfortunately. I got pulled away because my college sent an automated phone call to me, and I'm trying to figure out my registration, so I have to leave. I'm so sorry, I wish I could stay.
It's okay. Bye.
Okay. It was wonderful having you here. Thank you for joining.
We love
Yeah.
you, person.
Anyways, so yes, vampires, one of the classics, and sadly they have sort of went downhill since then. Next up is werewolves, which unfortunately is also being turned into sappy romance with things like Teen Wolf. But
Yeah, and the Twilight
I
series.
haven't watched. And Twilight series, they were also kind of ruined
Burn
there.
those series.
But they have not had as much damnation as the rest. So, let's see here. Werewolves. Their weakness includes wolfsbane, getting shot in the heart with a silver bullet, which is actually very hard to make a silver bullet that actually will shoot.
Mhm.
There've been silver
And
bullets around.
well,
Silver
it's a
bullet.
very soft material. It's hard to keep it together for when you shoot it. Anyways,
Right.
and yeah, can't think of any other weaknesses. Besides, oh yeah, I can only change during the full moon in some cases, but not in all. So, werewolves, have at it.
I don't mind werewolves at all, because now as I say, like when I tell you about the vampires, I like all of the legends about them really fascinate me, and because I got this game called Atmosphere, and there was a vampire called Elizabeth Bathory, which in fact said she was a real silence as well, in according to legend, and also a werewolf called Gavordan, and they were pretty cool characters to play, and they got really fascinating backstories. So, like if you want to find out more about these legends, you can look it up. They're really interesting.
If I remember correct, Elizabeth was actually a duchess who basically bathed in the blood of young maidens in order to stay
Yep.
young and pretty forever.
Yep. She's my favorite character to play in that
Matter of
game.
fact, she is the one that created the Iron Maiden.
Yep.
She had one above her bathtub.
This is so
Yep.
creepy.
Psycho. And they say serial killers didn't start happening until Jack the Ripper. I point to her as an example of a serial killer before Jack the Ripper. Anywho, yeah, werewolves are awesome. Although I prefer shapeshifters, because when you say werewolves, you think of creatures that can only turn in like full moon and don't have control of themselves. I like shapeshifters just for the fact that they're pretty cool. Also, if I was really forced to pick between any of the monsters that I had to be in a relationship with, even if it was forced, I'd have to pick werewolves just for the fact that they're not dead. Not into necrophilia, people. I don't care if they are moving around. It's still necrophilia. They are dead. So stop it.
Well, if they have a heartbeat,
Oh, they did.
that still counts.
They long gone.
Dead things. No one likes it.
It's just
Yeah.
creepy. It is. Did anybody else feel creeped out by Twilight? Like she really, really wanted to sleep with the dead guy. It kind of just creeped me out. Like, same things with, like, there's this book called I Kissed a Zombie and I Liked It. Oh,
God,
dear
great.
Lord. It was awful. Like, you're dating a corpse. I don't care if it is moving around or was brought back to life by voodoo. It is a corpse.
It's like
it is creepy.
deteriorating.
It's necrophilia. Like, it's just wrong on so many levels. I'm sorry, but I feel like this had to be said.
Yeah, the body itself is deteriorating. Why would you want to be with it?
Well, like, even if they aren't deteriorating, it's still gross. Like, I don't care how life-like vampires look. They are still dead. They
What-
don't have a
okay.
heartbeat, and, like, they're all white, and, like, no, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. You know?
Wow.
What if it's like a fresh body, though?
Okay. We have another question. If I can get the stupid thing down there so I can click it.
To opinion on the speed of-
Okay. Verzi Turncoat says, what's your opinion on the speed of monsters? Slow or fast? I personally dislike cheap, slow monsters like zombies that can only get you by numbers. However, if a monster has a supremacy, like some vampires, that they don't need to rush, I love them. Here's my thing on things like that. Zombies do in fact creep me out, not for the fact that they're slow. I mean, the zombies in War Z just kind of didn't do it for me. Just for the fact that, yes, zombies are slow. But here's the thing, they never get tired. They never need to stop. Once they get your scent, they will keep coming after you. No matter how long you travel, you will eventually have to rest, have to eat, have to sleep. They will eventually catch up to you. And that's what makes them creepy. No matter how far away you run, they will still get you.
Do Cybermen count as zombies?
Huh?
Do Cybermen count as zombies?
I
Cybermen?
don't
Well,
think
I mean-
Cybermen count as zombies. The suits technically keep them alive.
Yeah, but they're
like a
still
little
dead
strand of
humans.
flesh.
No. The suits technically keep them alive, so I don't think they're actually zombies. Maybe in, like, suspended, and actually, they do die, and then the suits spit them out. So, yeah.
Technically, they're just parasites then.
Yeah.
Basically, the suits need organic tissue to run. It's part of their, processing, I guess, or something. They need the human body to run. I don't know how much of the human body they use.
They use the skull. That's all they need. They need the brain.
Yeah, so
Great.
I guess it's kind of just like a mechanical brain jar?
It's like there's been a few episodes where there's Cybermen that work without like human body parts, like no human body parts whatsoever.
Yeah, but their only capability of doing then is to find another host. So I guess they need a brain in order to, I guess, to use as their motherboard, I guess. Because without it, they just have one built-in function to find a motherboard, I guess. So, yes, that covers zombies. Wait. There was some. So, witches. Witches and wizards.
Do they even count as how do they count as monsters? That's what
I mean,
Well, some
They
of them
count
are
as beings.
evil. And
they're evil, but they're not really monsters.
they're creatures.
Yeah.
Well, they count as creatures, but not like monsters.
Well, I
Yeah.
suppose
Well,
it's just
they've
that
since
no matter how
introduced
good,
their
like, there will be some good vampires, some bad, and I guess it just comes down to whether the fact is the witch is good or not. If the witch is bad, then they are monsters, and if not, then they are just people with special abilities. We have another question. What is your thoughts on monsters that stay in the dark and take children? Like Krumpennickel?
Slenderman?
Or let me see this.
Sorry, that's a
Man.
old Christmas thing. He used to take bad children and whip them and take them down to hell.
oh,
Anyways, actually, it's very charming. Anyways, so, when you say creatures that stay in the dark and take children, I guess you're talking primarily about, like, fairies that were said to do this, and, well, werewolves were believed to have done this as well. Matter of fact, quite a few monsters. Uh, Sea hags were believed to take children from the line. Mermaids were originally believed to take whole shit full of men, and sirens would seduce men into jumping overboard and killing themselves. So there are a lot of mythologies about that, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I like sirens. They are awesome. Think about it. Like, they can persuade people to kill themselves just with the sound of their voice. It's theory that it's supposed to sound sweetly, but I think it's more that it sounds that they're so bad at singing, the men would rather throw themselves overboard than listen to it another second.
I've heard that so many times at our talent show last year.
Okay.
Bad
Yeah.
singing.
So, the answer to that is that stealing children in the dead of night is wrong. Doesn't matter if you're human or not. That makes you a monster.
What are you talking about? That's not that bad. Well, actually, it's really
If
bad.
it's not your
Nah,
child,
it's
taking
not.
it in the dead of night is wrong.
Yeah. Really
What are
wrong.
you talking
Yeah.
about?
They don't care whose child it
That's
is.
actually really bad. I should probably not joke. Yeah. I should let that. That's probably not something to joke about, but
No. No, it is not Fatal Park.
Maybe I should look
No.
at see if there's monsters coming after my brother or something.
No.
yeah, I messed up.
What about Thestrals?
Kestrels. I
Horses.
hadn't heard of them before.
Yeah, me too.
What are they?
Thestrals. Creatures of night, of darkness. Thestrals have been called horses with bat-like wings, often supposed to only be seen by those who have seen death.
Head cannon.
What? Did he just say headcanon and then left?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I have no.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, what monsters would you like to discuss? Any particulars?
Not really.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
How about mummies?
Ah, those are good ones.
Yeah, I
Mummies.
totally forgot.
They are creepy. They're like zombies wrapped around and stuff, but they can do dark magic and stuff. They kind of creep me out. Especially if you go back to, like, oh god, people are going to think I'm so old. Does anybody remember the actual Mummy movies? You know, like
Yeah.
Return
No.
and, like,
Yeah.
The Scorpion King. The Scorpion King wasn't that good.
Yeah, I've seen the Scorpion King once.
Yeah. So, yeah, it has El Colonel. No.
Mhm.
Anyways, so I guess me and Rose are the only ones to have seen them. You guys don't
Yeah.
know what you're missing. They're really good movies. Anyways, so basically these people disturb a mummy, and it comes back to life, and it tries to kill them and take over the world. Of
Scary
course.
supervillain I've ever heard of.
And one of the weaknesses about Mummy is it comes alive when someone steals his precious treasures from its tomb.
Yes.
That too.
Yes, and then it strangles people and drags them into their coffin.
Sounds like a delightful time.
Creepy. Have you guys ever heard the legend that if you step into a person's grave, your soul gets transferred with theirs? Like if you fall into a person's grave and you don't get out by sunrise, your soul will be switched with theirs.
Yeah, I've
That sounds
heard of that
delightful.
legend.
Isn't that creepy?
That's awesome.
Of course, there's a way to tell. Apparently, they won't be able to look you in the eyes stare you in the eyes. You have to look away because your eyes are the key to your soul.
So they have to be ginger.
What? That's mean.
I'm sorry. I had to make the joke.
You know.
Considering your OC's a ginger as well.
No, he has to have blue eyes.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I take everything back.
Other
No, you're
Mum-
not. I really don't care. Fact of the matter is, the whole gingers don't have soul thing actually goes back to witch burnings. I'm only going into this due to the fact that we are talking about monsters, and witches were considered monsters. So basically, they would go to a village, supposedly witch hunters, and the first thing they would look for are for people that look out of place. And if you don't live in Ireland or Scotland, what really looks out of place? Brilliant red hair, which was considered to be an evil color due to the fact that it's the color of unfertile soil in most cases. And so they would accuse redheads first of being devil worshippers because they were easy to spot, they stood out, and, well, red's considered an evil color. So, yep, that is how it went about. Plus, witches were considered not to have souls because they were said to have sold unto the devil. So the whole gingers don't have soul thing.
Yeah, I learned that's from a play that I studied at school called the Crucible, and then it was like in the beginning of the play where Abigail and some of her friends were seen dancing in the woods, and they were claimed to sell themselves to the devil, and they started throwing different names of the women who they thought they were witches.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I started to learn about witch hunts, and also near where I used to live, there was a place called Pendle Hill, and there was a famous legend about the Pendle witches, and that's a pretty cool story to look up as well.
Mm-hmm. An interesting fact, and I'm only going into this because a little while ago, they decided they wanted to burn Diamond Tiara. When they build burning pyres, they would put the wood at lower angles because it would mean that the heat would kill the person before the fire. It allowed them for longer suffering, which was supposed to help the spirit be released and go to heaven. So next time you decide to draw a picture of someone being burned to death, remember that interesting little fact, boys and girls.
That cheerfulness really reassures me.
Yeah?
Apparently, she wants to burn DT too.
Oh, please. Anyways, just an interesting little fact. So, seeing as several of us here are Whovians, we can discuss some of the monsters that dwell in space.
Finally.
Why don't we? Huh?
I ain't saying anything.
Icons.
So,
Yeah.
why don't we first start off with one of the original Doctor Who, or one of the more famous, the Daleks.
Daleks.
Yes, favorite Doctor Who monsters ever.
I never heard of that.
They look so silly, but yet they're so scary.
Exterminate. Sorry.
They look scarier when they like open up their shells.
Yeah, it really creeps me out.
Yep.
Of course, it's kind of sad when you find out that they were converting humans into dialects and like they hate themselves. It's like those poor things, you know.
My friend said he was sitting inside of a Dalek suit next to one of the mutants. I said, "You're insane, dude."
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a weirdo.
Yay.
Anyways, so dialects originally created by what was his name? It's like the master or something.
Yep. The Master
Wait,
Costume.
Davros. He created them.
Dalek? They were
And
created by Davros.
And he created them because he was dying, and he created a suit to make him live forever. And then other people, and he just kept making more and more and more. And before you know it, the whole planet is either dialect, and those remaining are thrown into like camps, like concentration camps.
Hmm.
Oh,
Nice.
no, that's spooky.
Is anyone else hearing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't trust
Also, it's funny enough that originally they could not go upstairs, so they could only like. Also, they weren't originally Mocha controlled either, so like either people had to be really short, like maybe I don't know, like midgets or something, or small people, whatever they want to be called, or like I don't know, like maybe really small people. I don't know, maybe they would put like a dog in there and like have like a stick tied to it with something that I wanted to eat or something. I don't know.
Well, you're
But
talking about how they were
originally-
originally made?
I don't know, but I'm quite curious to find out how they originally had them move around.
They probably had like power chairs, like how a lot of the cosplay Daleks are made now.
Okay.
But I know
Anyway. Anyways, yes, so they originally could not go upstairs, which thank God they finally managed to come up with a way to solve that little problem during the reamp. Apparently they have hover thingies, which makes sense, because their ships are clearly more than, like, one deck. So, yeah. Dialects are cool. Anything else you guys like to say?
In terms of Davros, he is really creepy. Because I haven't seen him in some of the classic episodes, but when he appeared in the new series in Stolen Earth and Journey's End, I consider him to be the one of the most threatening villains of Doctor Who, especially when he showed the 10th Doctor his true self when he has flashbacks of the people who died in his name, and that was like kind of sad, really sad.
Yep. So, Alex. So, next up would be the Weeping Angels, which give me the creeps.
Me too.
Like it was bad enough when they where they just looked like Weeping Angels, but now they can be any statue?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, look,
You
it's
know?
Lady Liberty. Now she's staring at me. Now she's trying to eat my face. Fantastic.
Did anybody hear my background? If you
No.
do, I apologize.
It's okay. No, we can't hear anything in your background. Anyways, let's see. Weeping Angels, they're cool, creepy. You guys can feel free to talk.
Okay.
Do you know that, right?
I think the Weeping Angels are my second favorite Doctor Who monsters. Because with the term where the Doctor says don't even blink, and if you do, like, they turn you into an angel, and and when they show their teeth, like, that really freaks me out.
Okay. Yeah, Weeping Angels giving the creeps. Any other Doctor Who villains you want to talk about?
Let's see.
I haven't seen it yet.
Suntarans.
Centaurans.
Potato head people.
They don't really scare me. I'm sorry.
I like in the classic series, they are a little more threatening. The newer series are just played off as idiots.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, war, but I don't know how to do this, so yeah.
Cybermen, they were really scary.
They were scared when they started looking like Iron Man. They were just fine until Series 7.
See, I have this thing. Dialects have slowly been turning into Cybermen, and Cybermen have been slowly turning into dialects. Think about it. Originally, Cybermen would convert, and it's convert. Now it's update, update, update. And originally dialects just exterminated, but now they were converting people into dialects, and it's like, they kind of got switched. Also, Verizon Turncoat states in the first Doctor Who incarnation, the dialects could not even leave their metal city. They adapted since their first installment. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. Cybermen, yeah, they are creepy, and I don't really like them, but, let's face it, if I saw it, they're too, they can't hide, you know? Like, that's the beauty of the Weeping Angels. They can be in plain sight, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Any other Doctor Who villains you guys want to talk about?
Silurians?
Did we
Oh,
already talk about
the
them?
lizard people. No, the Solarians. What, I can't pronounce their names.
But
They're the lizard people.
They're
the
not
lizard people.
enemies.
They can be. It depends on what's going on.
Yeah, they were in the classic series and in series 6. But when we had the Madame Vastra, she was the only good Silurian they had, and be Doctor Who's ally. So
Yes. And the Mac Brony asks us about trolls.
Trolls, like internet trolls, or like
I think he means like the actual monster trolls, live under bridges and
yeah.
take children in the dead of night,
so the thing off of Dora.
Well, trolls are dirty, smelly, but they can't come out in the daylight or they turn into stone. So,
No, not the one from Dora. Okay.
what? No, those are bridge trolls. Actually, recently I saw this one on Netflix where they're like, trolls are in Norway, and like it's in this documentary thing. It's actually really good. Like, the quality of it's pretty decent. Like, I thought it was interesting, and they like put out all these interesting facts. It's quite fascinating. But anyways, so yeah, trolls are interesting. It's just there's so many different kinds, it seems, that it's hard to know, because there's like different kind of mythologies for everything.
What about gnomes?
Ugh, gnomes.
No.
What about
You gotta love-
dragons?
Dragons are awesome, and I would have one as a pet if they were actually like real.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's think about it. It's hard to believe that there's so many different ones. Like, there's so many different legends of dragons throughout the world, It's hard to believe that, like, I understand they say they were inspired by dinosaurs. But it's hard to believe that, like, the entire world could come up with the same thing, I don't know.
Mystery and coincidences. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, so I wish dragons were real. I think it would be very interesting, but even if they were, they would be very rare.
Now remember, children, don't touch the dragons.
Yeah.
Any other monsters you guys want to talk about?
What about dogs? They're horrible.
No, they're
Dogs
not.
aren't really
They're
monsters.
not
I'm
scary.
messing around. My
Well,
dog
Okay.
Penelope's she's a little pillow.
well, this is like one of Dracula's special abilities. It's a legend that when he came off the Russian ship called the Demeter,
Mhm.
all of the sailors and the captain were dead on board the ship, and Dracula was transformed into a huge black dog and ran up the 199 steps and hid himself in the graveyard when he arrived in England.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the whole myth that vampires' weaknesses is werewolves. It's kind of
Vice versa.
interesting.
Oh no, it's a giant walking man dog. I'm so scared.
Um. Doctor. Another question. Both are actually we have two. Both of them are about Doctor Who. The monsters Vishe Narada, the shadow thingies. Yeah, that actually kind of makes sense if you think about it. I mean, come on, most kids in the world are afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be some neurological reason why it's a common afraidness. I mean, yes, this might be because we're told of monsters if you're not good and go to bed, or it might be that there might be something in the dark and that instinctively we are afraid of it. Instinctively,
because we're afraid
just for the.
of the unknown. That's the thing. We're afraid of the unknown. What's
Hey,
really
Thinker
scary?
Brony, when did you get
I
here?
think about
I
it.
think
You got here
invited
about
me.
2-3 minutes ago.
Yeah, you invited me, and I'm like, oh, there's something going on. I clicked on it, and now I'm here.
Okay, well, we are live. So, yeah, so I like those shadow thingies. I think it's cool, especially the fact, because how many people do you hear about that go, because there's supposed to be these things that live in trees, but they somehow got transferred into the books. How the book process didn't kill them, I don't know. But the fact is that, so how many people have you heard about that went, for a walk in the woods and just were never found again? Like, maybe it's Verata.
I haven't heard about that often where I live, but it has happened. According to some people I've talked to, it's happened here a lot.
Yeah, well.
Serious disappearances.
Yeah, so those are. Yeah, it makes sense that there's something in the dark that we're afraid of, but it might have to go back to the fact that animals that could eat us when we were like Neanderthals and stuff probably hunted at night. And so our instinct when we're young is to be afraid of the dark because that was the ages when we would be most vulnerable. And the next question is the Oods Doctor Who monster.
They're just something that can be easily taken over. I don't really like them.
I can't remember who the Oods are. It sounds familiar.
They have pasta mouths. I guess that's what you would call them. They just have funny looking mouths.
Okay, I don't know a lot about Doctor Who.
Wait, do you mean those vampires? Do you mean the fishy things from the Vampires in Venice?
I guess that's what you would call them. Hold on, let me go look them up. Let me go find a picture of them. I'm sorry.
Because I really can't remember who the Oods are.
Let me take a look.
I'm terribly sorry. I should know this. I have seen every episode of Doctor Who, but yet, you know me and names. Good thing the Doctor doesn't have a name, because otherwise I forget it all the time.
He does have a name. You just don't
I know
want to
he
tell
has a
nobody.
name, but we don't know it.
I think that secret went to the creator's grave because no one will find out. What's his name? I'm not telling you.
Yeah. Maybe put it in his dying will. This is the Doctor's name.
How
Well,
do you pronounce
originally,
that?
he actually did state what his original name was that he took. His original name was the Time Lord. which is kind of silly. But yes, it was the Lord of Time. And he stated in the episode where like the people who were on the first space station to Mars like got killed or something by the water monsters.
He was just stating what he was and who he was and how he.
No, that was his original name. It's been stated before.
If it was his original name.
Well, it wasn't his. It was his original name that he took in the court of the Time Lords.
I was gonna say.
Then once he realized the error of his ways, because he was a cocky little bugger, he then then they God then he changed his name to the Doctor because he wanted to help people.
Yes.
The Oods are slaves, not scary.
Yeah, the slaves, and like they were the ones who predicted about the Master's
Oh
return.
yeah, the people with the balls things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Them,
those people. Well, they're not people. They're kind of like squiddy things. Kind of make me think of God, what was he called? Davy Jones from
Yeah,
the
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Made me kind of think of them.
Yep.
Anyways, so yes, the Ooze. I forgot about them, but they are apparently very intellectual because they did build that giant city.
Yeah.
That's true.
They said it only took them less than a day.
What about
Yeah.
the adipose? Them little monster things.
Well,
They came out of
those weren't
people's
actually
stomachs.
the monsters. The monsters were the people that wanted children, and because their breeding planet like blew up or something, they're like,
Yeah.
oh hey, we'll just use this planet, even though it's illegal, to breed a whole bunch of them. I don't know how they look when they grow up. I definitely want a plushie of those things. They're so cute. I have a pair of earrings with them on them. They're
What is
so
that?
cute.
That's brilliant.
I know it should scare me just for the fact that it's like sucking fat from you, but I could probably only make like maybe 3 adipose and I'd be dead. I don't know. But anyways, I think they are adorable, and if they are that adorable, I don't think they can really be that dangerous because they weren't the one doing it. They were just a fact of what was being done, you know? So yeah. The adipose weren't the enemies. The adult adipose were the enemies. Yes.
See.
But they're so cute. And he uses.
New image for it.
Has anybody else heard the legend of the killer car?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
yeah, it didn't.
I've seen a movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Like, apparently there was this car that, like if someone's spirit gets infused in this car, or, like, it just evil elements were put into it, and, like, it just goes around on full moons running people down.
I don't like you, so I'm gonna run you over. I don't like you, I'm gonna run you over. You're good, you can stay.
So, interesting. Ugh. Sorry, it's tired. So, yeah.
So
Any
what's
other
the next
monsters you'd like to discuss?
Let's see.
Oh, I got it, Slender Man.
He's more
That's
of
like a video
creepy
game.
pasta
That's
than
a
a.
video game.
He still counts as a monster though, and you gotta give him some slack because he has tons of lore behind him.
Well,
I don't.
one, Slender Man was just made up by a dude in 2009 and just got popular by the internet.
Yeah,
Not
that's
even
the
a
thing.
real. Yeah.
Just think, about 100 years from now, they're gonna be talking about Slender Man, and they're gonna probably be our great great grandchildren talking about this nonsense.
Yeah. True.
See him.
I close my case.
I'm not sure about that, man.
What about the Krillitanes from School Reunion?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of those.
Nope, never heard of them.
Nope.
Well, in that episode, the Krillitanes take on the forms of humans they destroy, and so they're a bit like these bad type monster things, and they were using a high school called Deathly Vale to try and unlock the secret of the Scasis paradigm, which was an equation where they control the building blocks in the universe with time and space and everything. So they were using the children to see who would unlock it, similar to the Legend of Pandora's Box.
Oh.
And supposedly it leads to the Doctor's name. Or something. Because apparently that is the word that will say when the world falls.
Silence will fall when the question is asked. Doctor Who.
Yep.
If we're going to be talking about Doctor Who, I would have probably know what the TV show is. I
Alright,
never
okay.
actually even seen
Well-
one episode of Doctor Who.
Well, we were talking about monsters, but... okay,
Goes around the Doctor Who.
We
we're
also say
talking
about
about
like
monsters from Doctor Who.
and also from LLP and also from movies as well.
Okay, well, why don't we move on to monsters from video games, then?
Slender
Sure,
Man
there
would be
are some-
one.
I'm pretty sure there's at least some interesting ones.
How about Sonic EXE? That's kind of creepy though.
But that one's like a modded one, wasn't it?
No, it isn't. No, it ain't. There wasn't.
Okay,
What?
stop.
You tell me about the chaos creature?
Yeah, it was about the Sonic EXE.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
The Haunted Tell doll. Oh, wait, no. I don't think that counts as a monster, does it?
No, how about Luna Game? Luna Game. That would be like a creepiest game ever. I played them once and they like scared the hell out of me.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if nobody really has anything else to say on monster, do you want to go into the after chat?
We can talk about, I guess, a zombie.
Zombies? Not really. Zombies? We already talked about them.
Okay, well, here I am announcing the after chat where we can talk about whatever we want.
Hooray.
I see.
So, anyways, I'd kind of like to discuss ways to kill monsters.
Hey, Lord Weaver.
What's up, LK?
Lord!
I can't hear him. Aww. Anyways. So,
Anyways.
yeah. How about ways to kill monsters? Has anybody
Backstab
else
would be
noticed
one.
that, like, vampires have insane amount of weaknesses? Like,
Yeah.
they're
Isn't
allergic
it,
to
like-
sunlight. They're allergic to crosses, holy water, the thorns of a hawthorn bush. If you spill seeds, they have to, like, pick them up.
No,
They
they
can't
have
be
to count
invited
them.
into your house. Like, they can't come into your house unless they're invited. Stake to the heart. Crucifixes, holy objects of any kind, usually. And, running water.
What about
And they can't be, like, sent across running water unless they're in boxes of soil of their own countries. Like,
what about silver bullets, or is that from Blade? Because the Blade that vampire hunter dude
Yeah.
used silver bullets and
Like,
silver stuff. to
head
kill
cut off, fire, they're supposedly very flammable. So, like they just have an insane amount of weaknesses. Like, honestly, I think it would be horrible to be a vampire. Like, you can't even go into the supermarket without someone knocking over a bag of rice, and you have to spend, like, eternity picking them up and counting them.
Oh
God
God.
forbid someone asks what you're doing, and, like, you lose track of count, and it's like... Then the sun comes up and you burn to a crisp.
You know what's fun? I'm trying to remember this movie about a vampire movie, but it was a comedy one. When the dude throw the bags of beads in the air, the vampires like slow down time and counted all of them while it was like in midair, and he like 300,002, and he just sets it on the ground when it hits the ground. I try to remember the name of that movie. But it was a funny vampire movie though.
Yes. And, like, see, that's the thing. Vampires are supposedly some of the most powerful monsters, but yet they have the most weaknesses. Like, come on.
Think about it. If you're going to have a lot of power, there's always have to be a condition about something. If you have this much power, you always have to have like something that's bad. Like the good and bad has to balance itself out. So I have super strength and I can lift anything, but my that's my pro. My negative is I'm really heavy and I'm super slow. That's my negative.
Unless you're Superman.
Yeah, unless you're Superman.
Superman.
But besides, Superman is like anyone's fictional superhero. Superman's power is completely determined who's ever writing him. So Superman doesn't count.
I can imagine him just going, "Oh, I don't want this power. Get it away."
Who, Superman?
Yeah. Like someone's trying to write a story and he's just like, "I don't want this."
Oh, yeah.
Barney Turncoat says that if you read the Night Watcher book, the vampires made up all their weaknesses. So that's one possibility. If vampires actually exist, it would actually be clever of them, so that then they could hide in plain sight and be like, "Oh well, I'm not a vampire. See, I don't have to count all the beads." You know?
Oh, true. True.
So, yeah. So, well, we could go to slasher movies now, like Freddy Krueger. Or Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead?
Oh!
The Headless Horseman.
I like the Headless Horseman, although that whole not being able
that
to
one.
cross the bridge thing kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Also, did anybody else not feel bad at all about the guy he killed? What was his name?
I got the book. Give me a sec.
Like, because I did not feel bad for that guy, because the guy was kind of a douche.
Ichabod Crane, you mean?
Yes.
There we go.
Ichabod Crane. He only wanted to marry the girl because her dad was rich. He didn't love her or anything, and yet the one guy that did love her, he was constantly trying to make him be a bad guy.
Oops. Sorry about that. Stupid advert. Let's see. And also, back to the vampires. I also played a game called Vampirology. It's a really great game to play, because as well as normal vampires, in this game there were like some other bloodlines to vampires. Like, let's see, there was a Belial vampire, the Bar vampires, and all that stuff, and like all the on the information cards, it was so like they have like different ways of killing them. So like for example, one of the bloodlines, can't remember which one, it says that you have to cut off its head and bury it further away from the vampire's body, and all that stuff. So there's like other vampires as well as the normal vampires we know about.
What do you guys think about the psychic vampires that are supposedly living among us? But don't feed off of blood, but instead feed off of our
Of our
aura.
emotion.
They're huge nerds.
I don't know. It seems like a good alternative, like because nobody's going to miss their aura unless you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Non-vampire. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Emotional vampires equals changeling.
Kind of, except they don't change their physical form, do they?
No.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, mermaids. Mermaids are kind of shown as being evil, except for by Disney, of course. I mean, in Peter Pan, they they tried to drown Wendy because they didn't like the competition.
Yeah.
Or in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't remember mermaids being in Pirates of the Caribbean.
They just
Okay.
weren't very noticeable.
Yeah, it was in the third one, at Stranger Tides.
There we go.
And one of Blackbeard's pirates had fallen in love with this mermaid that they captured, and he ends up saving her life by letting her go and him going with her.
So she drowned him.
Uh,
Or he got
sort
crushed
of.
by the pressure under the water.
No, they just dove underwater together because they love for each other.
Yes, but eventually he would drown or get crushed by the pressure
Yeah.
of the water.
Yeah, that
So
way.
instead, she repaid him by murdering him.
Mhm. Yeah, because he didn't want to be a pirate like Blackbeard, in the way he was treating her.
I don't remember this. I paid close attention to the third one. Was it the second one? I might not have seen the third one.
Well, the third one's called was Stranger Tides. Johnny Depp is in that one, and also Salma Hayek plays his old love interest, who was joined forces with Blackbeard. So it's a really good film.
Okay, well, I might have to check it out because I think I might have missed that one. So.
Oh
yeah,
wait, that was number 4. The third one was A World's End. That was.
I've
Yeah.
seen it at
It's a
World's
fourth
End.
one.
Wait, there was a fourth?
Yeah, that was the 4th one.
That explains that. I didn't know there was a fourth. Fargus, get away from me!
What now?
My stupid dog!
Oh,
I'm sorry, I love you still. He's such an attention dog. He always has to be under your arm, snuggling you and trying to lick you, and you're a pain in my keister. You know that, Fargus, right?
Keister. That's a funny word.
He's a cute little Yorkie, though. I love him, even if he is a pain.
Yeah.
So, yes. Demon dogs. We should discuss demon dogs. Or hellhounds, as they are normally called.
Ooh.
The Hellhounds of Baskerville. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Anybody?
I like that story from the Sherlock Holmes series.
Yes, it was good. No, it wasn't a demon dog in the end of the Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, interesting creatures nonetheless. Fiercely strong, fast, able to track you down no matter where you go.
Yeah, so it's like a similar stealth to the werewolves when they move really fast.
True. But Diamond Dog, the Diamond, Hellhounds seem to be more loners, while werewolves seem to be in packs usually.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Not for me. I don't have anything.
So,
I'm all out of ideas.
Oh wait, let's talk about dragons.
We already talked about dragons.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
They're fierce, awesome, and I'd like to have one as a pet.
Yeah, you missed that one, Thinker.
My favorite dragon, who is a good guy, has to be Falcor, the love dragon from the Neverending Story. I would love to ride on one of those.
I'm sorry, he always just sort of made me think of a giant dog with no legs.
Yeah. So I like the love dragons. So not a favorite type of dragon.
We have a question. What do you think about hags?
Well,
They're like
hags
big
is
old
like similar
ladies.
to witches.
Yeah.
I never really thought of hags as being similar to witches. Hags always seemed to me to be like that woman in a gingerbread house that brings children in and then tries to eat them. Like, they're just old ladies that are creepy and scary, but they really don't do any harm until you like, do something bad to them, in which case they curse you.
Or they turn cannibal and eat you.
Yeah.
True.
We could discuss cannibals.
No,
Where would I go?
they're regular people like you and I. Let's not.
No, they're not regular people.
Well, they're regular people until they eat other people. They're still humans, dang it. They're not monsters.
They are monsters. They're just real life monsters. That's like saying a pedophile isn't wrong. It is. It's just that they really exist.
Yes,
And
I agree
just
with that.
because they aren't like the monster under the bed or anything doesn't mean they're not a monster.
But it's mostly. I'm trying to think of something. Hang on.
What about the monarch
The monarch.
from
Monarch.
Venture Brothers?
Oh.
I haven't seen that one.
Never heard of them.
Okay. What about fairies? They have often been said to be evil creatures that spirit away children.
Yeah.
But
Oh
they're
no.
also said to be very beautiful.
I have no idea what that is.
I would ignore them.
Okay.
Fairies. Wait, does that mean that Timmy Turner's fairy godparents tried to take him away from his parents and all that jazz?
No. What about gremlins? As the Macaroni has asked. Gremlins.
Yeah, gremlins are cool and creepy.
I don't
Really
know,
like
the
the
original
Gremlins
Gremlins kind of cute and cuddly, and it was Renzi Turncoat that asked that, not the Macaroni.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're interesting. The whole fact that actually the first Gremlin, or Gizmo, isn't actually evil. He isn't a monster at all. It isn't until you disobey the rules that you were given for his keep that he turns evil. Well, he doesn't himself turn evil. It creates evil. So if you actually follow the rules and do as you're told, you will not have any problems. You will not create monsters. But by disobeying, you will. So it's sort of, you cause your own devastation, your own destruction.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are just not in a talking mood, are you?
Not really.
Nah.
I
I'm
was thinking I would
sorry,
talk a little more.
I just recently got up.
Okay. Well, if you guys want, we can do a sign off.
It's all up to you.
Okay. Okay, you're up first.
This has been Lord Weaver Knight, and see ya.
Okay, Rainbow Eye Stash.
Have a good Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Rose,
This is Rose. You're saying, "See you later, every pony."
Thinkerbrony.
This is Thinkerbrony, and thanks for watching.
Thunderblur.
I'll see you all Saturday.
Alright. And I'm Starlight Pony, and this is me saying goodbye, and don't forget to sparkle, yeah?